see? So he has to click because there are videos which are hyperlinked. There are videos which are hyperlinked.
Okay.
Huh? So you'll have to just so I'll tell you. Okay. So should we start?
2 minutes.
Yeah. Thanks. That's it.
Just start talking. आप setup करो मुझे बात. Yes. Now just start.
Okay. So good evening to all of you. And at the outset, let me thank Nike Wealth, Nikhil, and Kotak for giving me this opportunity to share the digital side of the story. Essentially, what I'm going to be doing, our fascination with storytelling has been ancient. Okay, and be it Amar Chitra Katha, Spider-Man, Chacha Chaudhary, and the works, and all these titles have achieved cult. So that's what I thought. What should be the theme for today's session? Because sorry, but finance is slightly boring, and I being a media, represent media, I thought, how do I add entertainment to this boring evening? And I thought, let me add the story bit, which is entertaining, educating, as well as informative. Okay, and I thought let's start with our own stories. But before that, before we tell our story, this whole concept of brand is started intriguing me and giving me sleepless. I said, what is a brand? And why there's so much of hype about this whole story about brand and branding. Okay, and this is beautiful video which I've almost, so all the videos which I've taken are from YouTube. Okay, and I thought this video is one of those relevant videos which takes you through a history of branding, which gave the history of branding says that almost in 1650, the concept of branding appeared when farmers said this cattle is mine. So the whole story started there. So let's go at that video and then we will kind of take it. No, just go to the first slide, and just click. It's hyperlinked. Yeah. Okay. So there are videos otherwise. First video, first. Yeah.
There is no player available for this video.
Just click there. You can't open that video.
YouTube. Is there YouTube link?
No, I have got the video as well.
But these are YouTube links, right? Or
No. These are there on my pen drive.
But no software can encode this video. No, I was thinking if you can connect to YouTube.
No, wait. It's there on my pen drive also. Just a minute. The biggest innovation in today's millennium, what is it? So it's 140 character Twitter, because in 140 characters you can express yourself, you can connect with the audiences, and there you are. So can you play it from the beginning? That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I don't need. No, I don't need that. Yeah, you can move to the next slide. So most of you guys have seen must have seen the video, and essentially the two things which has come out. One is when was the genesis of branding? Point one. Point two also. Today everything can be branded, and our business is such that we can brand our own self. So human beings also can be branded. Okay, but the challenge here is how do you add emotions? Because in India, what happens is 80% of decisions are made emotionally. Okay, therefore, the biggest challenge for any marketer, be it in social, be it using any mediums, the challenge is how do I add emotions into the marketing? Okay, so there is this interesting point which Mr. Gordon made. He said marketing is no more about the stuff that you make, but about the stories you tell. But how do we tell your stories which is informative, which is educative? Because we are all in 140 character world. And what I mean by 140 characters is with low attention spans. You can't watch or buy an attention out of a 30-seconder anymore, or buy an attention out of a rate card. Okay, so we are moving out of that TV industrial complex, and somebody said that digital is the new TV. Why? Because it gives the power to you to use, to read, to choose which medium, what time, what information, which device. That's the power of this medium, and let's see how do we harness this medium. Let's go to the next slide. So stories are therefore also how we explain how things work, how we make decisions, and above all, how do we create our own identities. That is important, and this session will always also speak about how do we create our identities in the virtual world. Okay, so today if you see a lot of these films which get released, the first promo they launch is on digital, because that's where your audience is. Next slide. Okay, so this is something which I picked up from international website. This is what Forbes, New York Times, and Time had to say about financial advisors. I don't know how truth it is, but I just thought I should be putting this in the slide. And maybe there's some work which is needed if this is true. Okay, so that I leave it to you guys here. So story is everywhere. Now, how do we tell this story? Next slide. So how do you tell your story, which is a financial method? So just wait. Okay, now here is what happens when you do currently to generate businesses. So which is strategic networking, referral alliances, client event, and referrals. So what has research said is almost 48% of the business comes from this angle. Now, how true, how false, I think I leave it to the group to take a decision. But this is what I have found out. Can you click? Okay, this is take one. So what is the balance 52%? Where is the balance 52% business coming from? Next slide. That is this. And what are these mediums? Click. Okay, now what I'll do is quickly I'll take you all through how do we monitor. So I'm sure and I believe that most of us have websites, okay? But I will give you some tips which will help you to gain traction. How do you drive traffic? What are the key things that one should look at when you host a website? What happens traditionally, when we do a website listing, essentially, we think that agar maine Google pe type kar diya, and if I am available on Google, I am done and I'm sorted. There's slight correction there. What you should also not ignore is there's this parameter called webmaster. Okay, webmaster is telling people, which is Yahoo Webmaster, Google Webmaster, and Bing Webmaster. You to go and register yourself saying that I am available. One of the most interesting things, if you look at Facebook Maps, it is powered by Bing and not by Google. And second important point I want to drive here is Bing gives you better local search results. Okay, if we all felt that just by being on Google helps us our work easier, just have a think about it. And registering yourself in each one of these webmasters is very easy. All you have to do is go to Google Webmaster. They'll give you your website ID. Just put it over there and just say that I am there. And also there's some stuff called crawlers. What I want you all to do is because of the time limit that we have and also that 140 character attention spans, I want you all to just note it down, this crawlers bit, and obviously you can Google or go to Yahoo search and you will exactly know what I mean by all these terms that I'm going to be using right now. Now let's move on to the second aspect, which is video. Now one of the most, so today we, let's take a telecom example. Just a decade back, we are all about this, which is about talking. Today it's all about this, seeing. So it is one of the most highly impacted mediums available for each one of us. But there are again key pointers here. If you keep updating videos on a regular basis, keep promoting links on a regular basis, chances are that Google might directly approach you and you can have another monetization model available to you. So that is very much possibility through videos, and which you can upload on YouTube. Obviously, there's Vimeo and there's Dailymotion. Just the sheer amount of videos that get uploaded are humongous. Third, email campaigns. Here I will tell you two important things. One is email. Okay. Second is me-mail. So what is the difference between email and a me-mail? Okay, email is something which is very generic, which is boring me with your story. But as a consumer, am I bothered about your story? Are you here to solve my problem or have you come to solve your problem? That is the question that you have to ask before you shoot an email. So I'm rephrasing that email to me-mail. So when I say me-mail, what it means is, here is a solution which is helping me grow, which is helping me prosper, which is helping me successful. And today that is very much possible because of technology. Point one. Point two, what is the timing of emailer? When do you send emailers? Okay. If your emails hit inbox after 5 o'clock, I think you're wasting your efforts and energy. So the best time to hit an email is in the morning, which is about 9:30. Even if it is delayed, that is fine, but your email has to reach inbox in the morning. So that is the time when your consumer is open and available for any new information that is coming. So this is the second important point. Third important point that I have to make is, have you checked out if your emailer is hyperlinked? Third important point. Fourth, are your social media handles there and have they been allocated good space on the emailer? 5. So these are some pointers that we should keep in mind when you send an emailer. And obviously, nobody is interested in reading laundry list of information. In today's times, less is more. That's the mantra. Okay. Let's go to the next, digital advertising. So I'm not going to be touching digital advertising because there is going to be huge monies involved. And what I mean by digital advertising is you do a banner campaigns, you do pay-per-click, and you do impressions. So I'm not going to look at that because what I feel today's session I'm going to be focusing more on is how can you use social media without spending money, and which will help you build traction. That is, so we'll restrict our discussion towards that format. So after digital advertising, let's come to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Interestingly, if you see LinkedIn, most of your target audiences, they are based out of LinkedIn. So that becomes extremely critical. So how do you do that? Again, content is king, clearly. So if your content is of utility, you cannot be pushy, you cannot be preachy. You have to be very subtle, you have to be very informative, and you have to address my problem. So your content has to educate and engage. Facebook. Now, very interesting data, if you look at demographics, 15 to 25, in that segment, males, they spend roughly about 12 to 13 hours on Facebook. But as you move up the age, which is 25 to 35, the percentage drops. So it is very critical for you guys to understand what is your TG. Okay. So is your TG available on Facebook? And there is enough data available. You can go to Google Analytics. You will get the entire data, unique visitors, how many visitors, what is the time that they are spending on each website. So all data is available. It's not that you have to pay to get this data. Okay. That is second. Now Facebook becomes extremely important for youngsters. So you have to inculcate